Better Together podcast.
Welcome to the Better Together podcast from the Fuquay Arena Chamber of Commerce. We are recording today from the Dashmore Conference Room and Studio, sponsored by Rescued Wood Rehab. The Better Together podcast highlights local businesses each week as the Fuquay Arena Chamber of Commerce continues to promote an amazing business community. I'm Brad Marshall from Greater Culture CrossFit here in Fuquay Arena, and I am joined by the one and only Marty Woodward from Rescued Wood Rehab. Marty, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And have you ever tried to say better together like 5 times real fast?
It just becomes one word that's
It's all better together.
It's all better together,
Yeah. So it's fantastic. Well, hey, Brad, it's great to see you. And, it's even better to see our guest today, Michelle Bast from Pulley Media. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad you're here. And so how long has Pulley Media been around? And tell us what it is.
Sure. We're a full-service marketing agency. We've been in business for about 14 years, maybe 15 at this point. I don't know. It all blurs together like the words.
Yeah.
But we are an agency. So we do everything from web design, graphic design, social media, Google ads, meta ads, Instagram marketing, content creation, writing, commercials, jingles, all kinds of stuff. So really, we try to be a one-stop shop for everyone's marketing needs. And then, of course, not everybody needs that. So we also do a la carte packages where people just choose what their business needs at that moment.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I know many folks out there, they probably don't know that they're familiar with your work, but you're involved with all kinds of different businesses in the Fuquay Arena area and in this local business area. And you do all kinds of different websites and videos that people, can you name a few of the companies besides the chamber, obviously the Fuquay Arena Chamber? Tell us about some of those local companies that you work with that are part of the chamber, maybe.
Sure. So I did do the chamber's website this year.
Fantastic, by the way.
Thank you.
Great revision, much needed.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just older, and like any technology, you wouldn't want to use the same app you installed 10 years ago. Same thing with websites. Had outgrown it and deserved something better. Clubworks is a client. That's a local gym. Abbey Road, I do their social media. I do the Bricks social media. You might have seen some of our after dark stuff. Some of the raunchier stuff goes to the Brick.
It is always the case. Nobody ever goes to the Brick. You just end up there.
For a while, I was doing Niche Wine Lounge in Holly Springs. Peekaboo Grins in Holly Springs. Two completely different ends of the spectrum there. Sinful Glow, I did their website recently. They're a chamber member here. I did Fuquay Transportation's logo and website. There's a lot of overlap with chamber members. And
I love those connections because there's all kinds of different businesses that you're involved with. It's not just one type of business,
Kimmy's
right?
Carpets Plus, they did the flooring in here.
That's right. Yeah, a shout out. There's these little connections you don't realize are even there. So, what got you started with Pulley Media?
So I have always been interested in like creative writing. I wanted to be a writer. When I was about 8, I won a commercial jingle contest. There used to be, I'm really dating myself. For anyone watching this, I'm definitely 21. But when I was about 8 years old, there was a commercial that was for Kraft macaroni and cheese for the blue box. And it was like, if daddy wants to fleece me, he knows he's got to cheese me. I've got the blues. And it was this Kraft macaroni and cheese. And then everything based off of that commercial, there was like 20 different variations. So they asked kids across the nation to write a new jingle. And then if you won, you'd get like a college scholarship and you'd get to be on the box. So I wrote the jingle and I won. I was entering the contest and it said kids this age through this age. And I knew that the contest ended on this one day, but I was going to be more than 8, I think it was, on the day that it ended. So I wrote my younger sister's name. I was like, you're going to be this. It's going to be fine. Just go with it. She was 4. So then my mom gets the notification in the mail. She's what is this? They're giving you a scholarship. My little sister's Nicole. Nicole, you got a scholarship. Why? And like, did you write a commercial? And just very confused. And I had to fess up. And I was like, just sign it, Mom, get the prize. She refused to sign. I'm mad to this day.
Ow.
But I have been writing jingles since I was that little. And then Mad Men really kind of, when it came on the air, I was in college and I was like, I want to be Don Draper.
Wow, a couple of firsts here on the Better Together podcast. Somebody singing while we're on the podcast,
Yes,
right?
You're
that's
welcome.
probably that's a first.
Yeah, that is a first. And then the Mad Men reference, that was fantastic. Yeah, it was a great show. It was an awesome show. Yeah. So that's a fantastic story, Michelle.
It's a great origin story.
Yeah, it's a great origin story. So, in getting started, what kind of challenges did you face in launching Pulley Media?
So I want to say that I had this great overcoming adversity story, but I didn't. I got a job as an events and PR person working for an agency that only did digital marketing for aesthetic practitioners. So your med spas, your dentists that only did like veneers, and plastic surgeons. So it was a very niche marketing. So I was working for them and they trained me, they sent me to conferences, they did absolutely everything to make me amazing, and along with all of their other account managers. And then my clients from there started giving me like referrals, like, hey, my friend, the plastic surgeon's friend, owns, I don't know, vacuum cleaner company, and can you work with them like on the side? And because my agency only did the one type of work, I wasn't really going outside of them. They wouldn't service this vacuum cleaner repair company regardless. So I just started taking those side clients to make a little extra money, and eventually got to the point that it was like, I need to make my own bank account for this, make an LLC. And over the course of like 2 years, I had enough of a roster that I was like, I don't think I need this other agency anymore. I could just be in my living room in my pajamas. So I don't want to be anything but forthcoming. I really wish I had a great like overcoming challenges story, but I got really, really lucky.
Once you got past macaroni and cheese, though, you just did it with skill, right?
It was smooth sailing.
It was
after
smooth
that.
sailing. So, what are some unique aspects of Pulley Media? What are some things that maybe you do different that maybe other agencies don't?
I think in a lot of agencies, when you get onboarded, you go to an account manager. And then whoever sold you the pitch, you don't really see them again because their job is to book new leads. So with Pulley Media, I'm always at the helm. So I do have a graphic designer, I have a coder, I have a content strategist, but I am always like at the lead and client facing. So if they reach out to Pulley Media, they're reaching me, and then everything is kind of funneled through that. So I can always say that the quality coming out of Pulley Media, it has my signature on it. And I'm hoping that that'll always be the case.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's fantastic to have a say and a hand in a lot of the different content that's created and what's being put out there. I imagine, because you said that you've been around for about 14 or 15 years now, things have evolved and changed over the years with social media and Google Business and things like that. Can you speak a little bit to how maybe the business has changed over the last 14 years and you've continued to evolve with some of the trends?
Yeah, when we were first getting started, it was just make a website and work on the SEO, and then you could run ads for it. But there was a lot more print advertising, so you had to make sure that what you were saying in print really matched your website. But there wasn't a whole lot beyond that. And then we got Vine came out. That was more like a beginning TikTok, except for very pixelated and like maybe 5 seconds. I don't remember the length of those Vine videos, but that was one of the first that came out that brands started saying, maybe I should be on this. Maybe I should be doing these little viral things. And Facebook, when it first came out, you did not have Facebook pages. So if I wanted to reach somebody, in a sense, it was easier because I would just create Rescued Wood Rehab, but I would create it as a person. Not pages did not exist at all. Neither did groups. So I could then just, me as a person, Rescued Wood Rehab, go and friend everybody. And now they were all my friends. So they would see me on their feed, and then pages came out and they changed it, and you had to like apply to be an admin and start over again. So the way that we relate to social media and the way that people interact with it at first, it was a lot easier to reach a lot of people, and now people are more averse to things that look like an ad. So you really have to hook them in different ways. People are getting pretty sick of being marketed to. When I started, Facebook didn't have ads. It was a completely free platform, and there was no way to run an ad on it. So things have definitely changed since that point.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I think it's also challenging for business owners too, because they're trying to figure out a way to get in front of eyeballs to let them know they exist and what their service is, and it feels like that's one of the primary ways now is through social media. So, can you speak a little bit to somebody who's interested in your product or your service? You highlighted the different options you have. What does it look like if a business owner were to come and say, "Hey, I'm not even sure I know where to start, but I know I want to get my business in front of other eyeballs to try and draw some attention and see what we can do." What would that look like for them to come and work with you?
Well, we'd want to talk about their paying audience, who they are, and where they expect those people to kind of hang out online. Um, Everybody kind of thinks of social media as marketing, which it is an important part of, but not everybody needs social media as their primary point of marketing. So, for example, a deck company. Um, deck Decks are an expensive product. So if I find a deck company on social media, I might not be ready to purchase a $20,000 deck. Um, However, if I go on Google and I type in deck builder near me, uh, I'm a primed audience. I'm searching for it already. I didn't stumble on it like in social media. So social media is more of a slow burn suggestion style tool, something that can fuel impulsive decisions. Like for example, I show somebody an excellent meal. I show it to them around 3 o'clock, still fresh in their mind for dinner. They might go and make that purchase that evening. Same if I show them a pair of great Nikes, maybe they'll go ahead and hit purchase because it doesn't take them too long to make the decision that they want those Nikes. It does take a long time to make a decision that you want a deck. So I kind of get an idea for where they think they should be, where their leads have traditionally come in, and what they're putting that money and effort into now, and figure out if it really makes sense to their target audience, because a lot of times they're just doing what they've heard over and over. I'm posting every day. Well, what are you? Oh, I'm a lawyer, but I only specialize in this one specific type of business law. Well, like, would you go to Facebook and look for a lawyer on Facebook, or do you want to find one that their credentials are listed? Likewise, do you follow your dentist and want to hear from them every day? Or do you Google a credentialed dentist in your area that takes your insurance, that has an excellent reputation? I mean, people are very misguided sometimes about where their clients are actually finding them. I'm totally silent on my social media. I have a steady flow of clients.
Yeah.
Um,
I love the perspective there, and I think it gives myself and other owners a really unique opportunity to say, "Oh, I probably need to talk to somebody who understands and knows what they're doing when it comes to marketing and helping my business get in front of other people." Because just having some of the insights you shared there, people might be going down the wrong path of like, "I'm spending all this time and energy on social media, but it's not drawing the attention like I'd like." And someone like you can come in, certainly help with some of that. And so when you think about Pulley Media and some of the things that you like to hang your hat on or that you think stand out compared to maybe working or searching the web for other media companies, what are some of the things that come to mind for you that you really hang your hat on that you're proud of?
I think my dad once said, like, I only hire people smarter than me. And my graphic designer, Leonard, he's a better graphic designer than I am. My coder, I mean, stuff that would take me an hour, he's done in 15 minutes. My content strategist, she can go out and get people to warm up to her while I am the most awkward person. I'm like, do you want to take a picture? No, okay, bye. And so by creating a team that I can feel confident every one of these is better in their skill set than I am, and not, I think it's a very green feeling to feel threatened by your own employees. And by creating a team that I can say, I'm proud of them and they're better than me. Like I I really want to stay true to that, and always I'm just really proud of them. That's that's, I think, what is the differentiator. I think there's a lot of feeling threatened in this industry.
I love that. And I think I've heard it said that if you're the smartest person in the room, it's time to go find a different room. And so if you
Absolutely.
surround yourself with other people who can do a really high level job, you know they're going to take care of the customers and the clients that come in to utilize their services because their skill sets are so good. And you're really helping push them forward, which is a really cool experience as an owner, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. Proud of all those guys.
And when you think about taking that team and continuing to help the community, whether you think of it as initiatives or community involvement or different projects, or the things that either you're excited about or things that you're continuing to work on and build when it relates to the community aspect?
Mhm. So usually I am behind the scenes, and it is because I've got only one person local. So it's me and one other person. So what I do is I put my efforts into my clients' different community involvements. Like Kimmy's recently went to Abbey Road and picked up a bunch of trays of food and brought it to the Holly Springs police station. Clubworks just raised $750 for Big Brothers Big Sisters. And I do the promotion of these campaigns and the coordination and making sure that the right people get to know each other and partner up and get the best discounts. Whenever I can do a client kind of pair up, it's always a nice match made in heaven. But especially this time of year, I do a lot of behind the scenes pushing, like holiday campaigns to help the food pantry in November. So you'll probably not see Pulley Media on anything, but you'll see my clients' names on things. Other than I'll donate a raffle basket here and there, but nobody wants my donations. A free hour of graphic design is not as exciting as I would think it would be.
That's awesome. I love the fact that you're promoting the businesses that you're already working with and creating those connections with people. That's a huge thing, and really speaks to being part of the Chamber of Commerce. So, kind of going back, what lessons have you learned being in business?
I guess because I'm drawing a blank. I did answer this in my little note sheet. I guess I wrote a whole paragraph that I couldn't think about. So I think about it before you react to it. So as an agency, when my clients are doing well, I am their best friend. Their most trusted person. They're emailing me saying, I made this much money yesterday. It was so amazing. When times are tough, when the economy is tough, when a new competitor enters the market and they're maybe feeling a little threatened, I'm their worst enemy. I'm getting those emails like, Michelle, we need to do this, this, and this. Why aren't we getting more of whatever it is their target is, be it leads or sales? Um, and it is difficult to receive those types of emails because I'm sitting there like, well, I did what I said I was going to do. You look great as far as I can see. I can't help that another competitor entered the market and that they're doing this and maybe they're outshining you in some ways. I can make suggestions, but to not respond immediately and to say, you know what part of this could I have done better? I knew this other competitor was entering the market. How could I have advised them better to get a leg up? And to just be like, wait, is it my fault? Is it at least a little bit my fault? If it's even 5% my fault, let me just say, I'm really sorry that this is happening. I own where I could have done XYZ. Why don't we meet and do ABC? And I think that I'm still only 21, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little less reactive. Where before I probably was more like, well, you know what, and you do.
Yeah. So, and I think it's one of those things when it comes to marketing and advertising and you providing that service as a business owner, it's really quick to say, okay, well, I need to tighten up expenses. Well, I just I'll cut back on this advertising. That's an easy,
Mhm.
just take this dollar out of that picture. But finding a way to find a solution to make business better for the client is a huge thing, and I think the reaction thing is awesome. Can you share with us, any advice that you would offer to anyone going into the marketing field like you do?
I think don't watch a course online, don't buy a course online. Everything that you need to know is available for free. Learn things like Google Analytics. Analytics is a free software that you can install on a website to see where your traffic's coming from, what the people are doing when they get to your website, how they interact with your content. It may be that you have a 50-page site, but only 4 pages are popular among your users. And if that's the case, ask yourself why. And all that information is there in Google Analytics. That's a great launching point, because that's the first thing that clients are going to ask about is, well, how's my stuff doing? I have this website looks good, but nobody's calling me. Why aren't they calling me? Well, the answers are all there. And to learn how to give a report and interpret a report is important, not just if you're going to go into marketing, but if you're going to own a business, to look at what your site is already telling you. Let's say you're spending, I don't know, 100 hours a month working on your social media. You're really cranking it out there. And then your analytics, you look at the report and you got 5 people coming to your site that whole month from your social media. I mean, is it worth that time, or should you be doing something else? Maybe it's a podcast. Maybe it's an ad in Main and Broad magazine. Who knows? But that first step is really learning to interpret the data. And unfortunately, it's the most tedious. It's not a pretty looking dashboard. It is a bunch of graphs and numbers. But once you learn what it means, it can guide your strategy quite a bit.
Yeah, that's something I continue to learn as a business owner, right? Is finding ways to reach people, and it's not all the same way. Do you have any future goals or upcoming projects that you want to share with us?
So I am going to be Dawn Draper. Um, I would really love to have a full brick and mortar with an in-house team. I have been slowly growing and slowly hiring. I've been reluctant to grow too much, um, basically because I want to always be the person who my clients can reach easily. Um, so I'm still figuring out what that looks like and how to build that out. But it will be right here in Fuquay when the brick and mortar comes. It may be near Target. I can have a little lunch break shopping.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
That's exciting, especially when you get to forecast and plan out what the next evolution of Pulley Media could look like. Now, our next question here is one that might be more challenging for you based on how much interaction you have with the community. But we always love to ask our guests what are some of their favorite places that they love to frequent, whether they love to entertain there, whether they love to get coffee or grab food or ice cream or whatever it is. Is there anything for you, some of your favorite spots locally here that you love to check out?
I'm going to say Abbey Road.
Yeah.
And the brick. Have a soft spot for the brick.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 great spots locally, grabbing a bite to eat, maybe grabbing a drink and hanging out there. So absolutely love those. When you start to think about fun facts about your business or the things that are potentially a little bit unique, any fun facts that stand out about Pulley Media?
I didn't start out by myself. I started out with 2 other partners. We were all 3 kind of all at the same agency, all 3 same story. We started doing the side projects, and we decided to, make the LLC together. The word pulley comes from we're lifting you up. So that was a name that was come up by. The 3 of us came up with together. I don't know my English language sometimes. So one of them, actually, we're all 3 in Miami, Florida, far from here. And I recently stumbled on one of them on LinkedIn. He posted something, I saw it, and he moved to Fuquay Varina too. So 2 out of the 3 founders live here now, completely accidentally, originating from Florida, wound up here.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's amazing to hear how many different people are moving to Fuquay Varina.
You don't just end up at the brick; you end up in Fuquay Varina.
New
And they don't even know
t-shirt.
how. They're just like, how'd you get here? I don't know. I just wound up here. Next thing I know, I'm here.
I walked by him in Home Depot one day, and I was like, wait, what? See, I hadn't spoken to him since we decided we were all going to go like separate ways, and the two other founders wanted to pursue full-time jobs, and I was like, I think I can get this Pulley Media thing off the ground. And then they eventually just pursued their full-time jobs and just left it with me. So when he walked by me, I was like, what was that? And then I saw him on LinkedIn later, and I was like, wow, this ghost of Pulley Media past is here. His name's Mark. Shout out to Mark.
Shout out, Mark. Hope you're listening.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, Michelle, where can all our listeners find Pulley Media? What's the best way to connect with you?
So my website is pulleymedia.com, and then it's the same username on Instagram and on Facebook. Pulley Media.
Pulley Media.
Yeah.
Go find Pulley Media, and
Mhm.
you'll see your work all over the place, including
Mhm.
the Fuquay Arena Chamber of Commerce. So, speaking of the Chamber of Commerce, what's the best part of being a part of the Chamber of Commerce?
I think seeing and being the first to walk into a new place that's opening and hearing their stories. There's a lot of things I just would never have known had I not gone to a ribbon cutting. Um, Hearing the story of how people got to the point where they've opened this business and how they chose this place. I mean, that's something that you don't see replicated when they're sharing. Like they might say, I just opened, here's our product on social media. But to see and get to know the people in person in real time and feel their excitement to share their business with you, I wouldn't have had that experience without the chamber.
That's a great thing. When you go to ribbon cuttings or go to business after hours or to breakfast with the chamber, yeah, you would go places that you normally wouldn't go, and you learn a lot more. I think that's a huge piece of advice. So, chamber members, listen up. Go to ribbon cuttings and support local businesses. You might just learn something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to thank Michelle Bast, our guest from Pulley Media. Thank you so much for
Thank
being here
you.
today, and want to thank Brad for being a host, and we will see you next time, my friend.
That's right. And so thank you to our listeners here. Join us each week on the Better Together podcast from the Fuquay Arena Chamber of Commerce as we highlight great local businesses just like Pulley Media from the Dashmore Conference Room and Studio, sponsored by Rescued Wood Rehab. I am Brad.
And I am Marty.
And we are
Better Together.
We're better together. It's a weekly podcast. We're better together. You should know that there's more in the dash. We're better together. Fuquay Arena Chamber of Commerce. We're better together podcast.